Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of KJ's What Happened, where we look back on some of the stranger things from this past week. It's usually a mix. Sometimes even I don't know what's going to show up here. Also, I wanted to say last week I'd mentioned I wanted to do a chat with you guys. I never got around to it. I did finish a video. I'm going to put it up after the show. I finished it a little while back, but I just want it to be, ahead of the show so people that come to the channel will find the video. And anyway, what I'm going to do is after the show, though, tonight, I'm going to go ahead and schedule for tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for just a hangout and a chat session, just, me and you guys. So I hope you can show up. I'll post it up tonight, the link for it, and, try to be there if you can, and we'll just hang out. It's kind of a Q&A. Anything goes. I used to do a lot of these in the past, so I'm trying to come back and do some again. The channel's still growing. I'm blessed. I'm grateful for that. So with that happening, there's a lot of new people coming in, new questions, things like that. So it keeps me on my toes. So we'll go ahead and do a hangout tomorrow night. Anyway, thanks again for being here. Hope you had a wonderful week. And let's just go ahead and get started. And this one right here is huge. This is huge. Facebook, Apple, YouTube, and Spotify ban InfoWars Alex Jones. So is this the canary in the cage? I mean, a lot of us have been kind of waiting on something like this, I guess, in today's environment online. And he's definitely been the tip of the spear, and that's always been the issue with him, right? It's like, ugh. I mean, I get so conflicted when I think about Alex Jones. There's still a part of me that's really grateful for him, because some of his work is what woke me up 10 years ago. Initially, that and Bill Cooper's books and just kind of a combination of things. But so I've got that, but then throughout the years, he's just really gone and done some kooky things, and it's unfortunate, and it makes it makes anybody questioning the mainstream narrative look like a cuckoo bird. And if it doesn't, it's a perfect excuse for the enemies of free speech to use against us. Hey, look at this crazy guy over here. Look what he said. Look what he did. So there you go. So anyway, it's here. It looks like it's happened for now. I've seen people on YouTube lose channels and get them back. So who knows? Maybe that's part of it. Is this real, or is this all just a part of the illusion? I see on both sides. I see people talking about this, that it's all a setup and it's meant to do this and da-da-da, Or, maybe he really is the canary in the cage, and this is just a clear sign that it's on, that it's on. It's a communist takeover, because it's all these, social media sites are doing this. They're all in cahoots together, right? Everything's owned by just a few corporations that ironically use Illuminati symbolism. Go figure. But so there we are. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts? I look forward to seeing what you have to say in the comments. You're probably chatting about it now, but what are your thoughts? I've seen both sides. People out there hate this guy. A lot of people out there hate this guy. A lot of people love this guy. He's a very divisive figure. But it always made me cringe when he'd go do something mainstream and they just start acting a fool. It's just like, oh, don't do this, And are we dealing with a guy that's just completely not self-aware? Is that part of it? Or is he an actor? He came out, started getting, I think it was because the Sandy Hook parents were coming after him, and he had to go to court, right? Not long ago. I think he's still in the process of this whole thing too. And his attorney said that he's an actor. So a lot of people are looking at that and say, it's true, he's an actor, is it that he really is an actor and admitted it? Or was he just, saying that to try to save face, against these Sandy Hook parents, wanting to prosecute him? It's just an act. I was just an actor, it's because that maybe that, people been saying that for years about him. He's an actor. He's a fake. And then maybe it's just was the perfect excuse already laid out for him, even though he was going to have to take a burn from that one too. It's really, I don't know. I always try to see all different angles of all these stories and everything. And that's why I don't see myself as, I'm not like a Bill O'Reilly or something like this. I'm not constantly trying to tell you, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. It's like I have a very investigative mind too. And when something like this comes out, I can't just right off the top say this is my opinion. I want to watch this story grow and see what happens, because it will. We'll see what comes out of this. It'll be interesting. But, or again, is this the canary in the cage and like it's all on, man? It's just like we're about to see a lot more of this stuff, because if Alex Jones goes, and a lot of people are cheering this, but there's that old saying, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, first they came for these people and I said nothing, then they came for those people, I said nothing, now they're coming for me and there's nobody left. It's one of those things. So we all got to be in this kind of thing together, even if you don't fully totally agree with everything and with everyone. It's just not going to happen anyway. But there should be some brotherhood, some sisterhood here for free speech, I would think, right? Or are people just too like over Alex Jones? Screw Alex Jones, it's fine, I don't care, I didn't watch him anyway, man, screw him, And the next thing it'll be this one, the next thing that one, then maybe me, then him over there and her over here. It's like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm curious to see your thoughts on that. Again, I just pray about this stuff. I can't sit around in anguish and worry, they're gonna get me, because they have all the tools they need. It's already set up, and I've had attacks on my channel, and a lot of other folks out there have had their attacks, lost channels. I lost a channel years ago. It's called Thescariestmovieever 111. I wonder how many of you out there remember that one? Let's see the old school folks. Some of you might, but that's why I created the KJ Osborne channel, because that Scariest Movie Ever channel got taken down. So then I created KJ Osborne. But on that Scariest Movie Ever, I had over 50,000 subs, somewhere around 10 million views. And then, that channel was always getting screwed with. So it wound up getting taken down. Got taken down, though, in a weird way. I'd had strikes over there before and everything. But one time, because I put up just all kinds of random stuff there. It's almost like what my website is now for me. It's just I can do random different stuff there too, and make music videos and stuff. But I put up kind of a scary video on there where it's like somebody was looking out at an airplane wing and suddenly something jumped in front of the screen. It was just, I thought it'd be funny. Maybe it was around Halloween or something, so I thought it'd be kind of cute. And within, 5 minutes of that being up, my channel was gone. It'd been struck down. Because apparently so many people, thumbed that down, or maybe somebody reported it or whatever it was. And then later on my main channel, people were coming over there under, ghost channels and being, real boisterous about it. I flagged your video and blah, 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 or whatever. So I don't know. The point is that kind of stuff's out there. You can't sit around worrying about it all the time. You got to pray about it. And just, do your thing, man. Be wise. Be wise as a serpent, as we're told, and try to hang in, I guess. There you go. Bizarre claims U.S. Special Ops killed a 12-foot Afghan red-haired biblical giant. So this is, I think this is some L.A. Marzulli work here. Rumors have been circulating for years that the American military killed a creature which was 3 times the size of a normal man. The beast was supposedly shot dead after taking multiple hits in the Kandahar region when troops were looking for a missing patrol. This outlandish claim, which has been denied by the U.S. administration, has recently resurfaced on social media. This first featured in a YouTube documentary produced by filmmaker and blogger L.A. Marzulli that was released 2 years ago. 2 self-proclaimed ex-Special Ops soldiers recalled the encounter with the supposed mythical monster. They alleged that the giant killing was a common knowledge among fellow troops, but no one could speak publicly. One soldier described the giant as 3 times the size of a man and had extra digits on his hands and feet as it swung a huge blade. The other soldier said it was a man at least 12 to 15 feet high. This was a monster with a red beard, and his hair was longish past his shoulders. And Dan runs at him and starts shooting, which broke all of us into reality because it was surreal. The soldiers claimed Dan was killed by a blow from the sword before the giant was killed following multiple hits. Allegedly, the creature's 1,000-pound carcass was airlifted away in a cargo net by a helicopter, and all those involved were forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement as the strange firefight was supposedly covered up. L.A. Marzulli is convinced the creature was a manifestation of a Nephilim, which is described in the book of Genesis as offspring of gods and humans. However, Snopes, good old trusty, reliable Snopes.com found that the only serving soldier called Dan who was killed in that year in the war-torn country died with 3 others in an accident clearing explosives. The U.S. Department of Defense has no incidents in which military casualties are listed involving a giant. Duh. The tallest man ever, Robert Wadlow, was 8 feet 11 inches when he died, and of course, that just seems like a Snopes. Snopes is a joke. You should check it out. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't know if this story is real or not. I thought it was interesting, but Snopes is trouble. They're one of the fact checkers. The fact checkers. The truth tellers. The real truth tellers. Snopes. That's where you get the real truth. Gate to hell opens up in Farmer's Field, sparking conspiracy frenzy. This caused a frenzy, apparently. Let's see what happens here. There's no audio, but okay. Let's try that again. Wow. So that just appeared overnight in this guy's yard, apparently. That's huge. Huge. It's a good thing somebody wasn't camping or something. But yeah, I guess that's the gate to hell. So they say. The hole appeared.
I think it is an important day. I mean, there is always.
Okay. The hole appeared overnight in a farmer's field near the village of Neladino in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod Oblast region. Easy for me to say. It measures 32 meters across and is 50 meters deep, enough to swallow a 16-story building. Police were called to the scene after they were alerted by the worried farmer. Officers taped off an area around the hole to prevent people from going too close in case it got bigger and they fell in. A police spokesman said the ground collapsed in an agricultural field belonging to a private farmer is only 1 mile away from nearby homes. Based on the information we have, this field hasn't been used for the past 2 years. The Russian Ministry for Emergency Situations is now monitoring the incident and investigating the cause of the hole. All right. Here it is. That's Paul Begley. With special guest, Paul Begley. It looks like this hole wasn't created overnight and it was sliding down gradually, one said. Another asked, what happened there? Someone was having a picnic? Ba-dum-bump. All right, so we got it. Gate to hell opens in Farmer's Field with special guest Paul Begley. This one got a lot of traction this week. I saw a lot of people sharing this. This is an interesting one. 6-foot human-like creature spotted lurking in woods sparks panic. Looks like Golem. All right, check this out. Try to make the screen big here. Okay, here we go.
Oh man, it's very cool.
Oh, wow.
You see it? Not the moose. That's a moose center frame, but look over to the left a little bit. And it's this little thing, and it does look kind of like Golem. All right, check it out.
Man, it's very cool.
Wow. Il mange, il est tout relax, là.
Je peux voir, je peux voir?
Ben, tu le vois, regarde dehors.
Non, je vois rien, attends.
I'm just kind of stopping here and there and looking at it.
Wow. Il mange, il est tout relax.
Reminds me of something else. There's a picture. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe they have it on the story here because it reminds me of that. There it is. Yeah, that thing. Remember a while back, this from a deer cam apparently, and it captured this image right here. This thing right here. I'll see if. Let me see if I can find that. Deer cam. Catches. Monster. There it is. There it was. Videos. Here it is. All right, check this out.
Thanks for watching NBC 33 News Morning Edition. The time is 6:26. Okay, so you know how we ask you to send in your pics so we can put them in our newscast? Well, you got to see what one viewer claims his friend found at a hunting camp in Berwick. I really don't even know what that is. The guy who sent it in didn't want us to mention his name, but tells us this is totally for real. He says last weekend his friend's family found one of their hunting camps destroyed, but the SIM card was still there, and so was this crazy image. I put the pic up on Facebook, and this is what some of you have to say about it.
I guess that was the end of the footage. Anyway, cue creepy music and images. But yeah, isn't that kind of crazy? It looks like that thing, doesn't it? It kind of looks like it to me. So you see the picture, you've seen that. I go back to this. And we watch it just one more time. Maybe. It's going slow. Anyway, I think you get the point. If you want to do a comparison, you can look this up, story, and check out that news story again I just showed you. Here we go.
Oh, man. So cool.
I mean, seriously, it looks like the same thing.
Wow. Il mange, il est tout relax, là.
Je peux voir, je peux voir?
Ben, tu le vois, regarde dehors.
Non, je vois rien, attends.
You are a star today.
North Korean scientists attempting to clone humans for Kim's super army. Excuse me. Kim Jong-un wants to create an army of super soldiers who will obey his every command. Now, again, I don't know if this story's true or not. This is Daily Star, so we're not sure. I don't know. Genetic scientists have spent, and it is Kim Jong-un, though. He is a weird character, so I guess keep an open mind. Genetic scientists have spent billions on a secret cloning program started by Kim's grandfather more than 30 years ago. Now intelligence experts believe the 35-year-old tyrant wants to create perfect copies of both his father, grandfather, the founder of the modern state, and other family members, which could include himself. MI6 believes the secretive communist state has already cloned cats, dogs, and horses and has been experimenting on human embryos for at least 10 years. Senior spooks working alongside U.S. intelligence agency, the CIA, have uncovered information suggesting human cloning has taken place at 2 secret laboratories. Even that sentence right there. Senior spooks working alongside the U.S. intelligence agency, the CIA, have uncovered information. Okay, I mean, I'm sure. But how did you guys get this information, right? Uncovered information suggesting human cloning has taken place at 2 secret laboratories. Okay. I don't know. Fun story, though. That's the kind of crazy world we're in. Like, this could actually be real, you know? Or it could just be something made up. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Have you guys heard about this one right here? This is pretty crazy. YouTube suspends father's channel with more than 5.6 million subscribers after he fed his children ice cream laced with laxatives and then filmed them crying in pain and on the toilet. I think there's some videos here. Let's see. If not, I'll try to find one. I'll go and read some. A popular YouTube channel was suspended after the family patriarch posted a video of a prank where he feeds his kids ice cream laced with laxatives and records them crying in pain. Cordero James Brady, 29, from Nevada, runs the YouTube channel CJ So Cool, which has over 5.6 million followers. The channel is monetized, which means he sells his channel to advertisers. With the more people watching the ads, the more money they stand to make. Last week, his channel was suspended over the vicious practical joke that appeared to have made his children physically sick. The laxative ice cream video has permanently been removed. In the vlog, Brady films himself dosing his children's ice cream with Pedialax and then feeding it to them. He then films 90 minutes later showing his children screaming and crying in pain. That sentence has been in there like 6 times already, hasn't it? Okay, like, I get it. Anyway, I guess that's an image of him doing that, dousing the ice cream. Here he is in the middle handing it out. And here come the tears. That stuff hurts. You guys ever taken a laxative? I'm sure you have. It's okay. We're all adults here. And, you know, when I've done it, it always made my stomach hurt. You know, I mean, this is pretty strong stuff. And imagine a child not only taking one and it's already going to hurt, but not knowing what it is, just thinking it's a tummy ache from ice cream or something. So they're going to freak out, you know. His little boy grabs his stomach and cries, "My stomach hurts," as his dad keeps filming. Then, to make matters worse, he keeps on filming as his children are in agony on the toilet. "My stomach hurts," screams one of his kids. "Oh my goodness, this boy's stomach is broken," he jokes. Then he films his youngest two, a boy and a girl, in separate bathrooms as they sit on the toilet, crying, trying to close the door on him as he continues to hold the camera on them. The Henderson Police Department source told Daily Mail there was a case that was investigated in 2016 involving laxatives and this individual. It was a joint investigation with Clark County CPS. It was submitted to the DA's office and it was recommended as a criminal case. So it's not yet clear what charges have been made, and although it would seem the video was filmed 2 years ago, it appears YouTube only removed the video last week when the site babe.net initially reported on it. So there's the family. Dr. Courtney Pegram, founder of Bulldog Solution, an anti-child abuse organization, told babe.net, the site that originally reported on the laxative video, harming your child on purpose with laxatives is child abuse. That's child endangerment. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's some pretty sick stuff. So there you have it. In another video, which is still up, that he calls the drowning baby prank, he tells his partner their child is drowned. Okay. Hey, stop. All right. Stop, no. Get off. Ugh. YouTube's algorithm is so sensitive. Like I said, stuff like that right there just will trigger it, you know. Anyway, you can watch that video some other time, but pretty gross stuff. Doing that to your kids. Molson Coors brewing up marijuana-infused drinks. Molson Coors plan to sell pot-infused drinks in Canada, where consumable marijuana will become legal next year. The company is based in Colorado, which, along with Washington, were the first states to legalize recreational use of marijuana. Recreational marijuana becomes legal in Canada in October, but consumable forms of the drug will be legal there in 2019. The brewer said Wednesday that its Canadian division will partner with the Canadian cannabis producer, the Hydropothecary Corps, to develop a non-alcoholic drink containing marijuana. Molson Coors Canada will hold a 57.5% controlling stake. Okay, cool. Interesting. Interesting stuff. This is a really weird story, too. You may have heard of this. Man has 4 limbs amputated after dog lick leads to severe infection. Maybe there's a story. Maybe there's a video. Seems there is. All right, let's check it out. Oh, never mind. We'll just read. It's music. A 48-year-old man with a history of good health and who has spent his life around dogs was forced to have all of his limbs amputated after contracting a rare blood infection that likely came from his own pooch. Pooch. I like that word. Pooch. Seems like it'd be a cut down to somebody. Shut up, you pooch. Greg Mantufel of West Bend, Wisconsin, landed in the emergency room last month with what he thought was the flu. It hit him with a vengeance. Don Mantufel, his wife, told the news outlet, just bruising all over him looked like somebody beat him up with a baseball bat. Subsequent testing revealed that he had contracted an infection from a bacteria identified as, another big word here, Capnocytophaga, which is found in dog saliva. The bacteria can cause severe infections in people with weakened immune systems and is spread through bites or close contact with infected dogs. Patients infected with the bacteria may exhibit blisters around the bite wound, redness or swelling, fever, diarrhea, vomiting, headaches, muscle and joint pain. It's like all that stuff you hear on the pharmaceutical commercials. So I was thinking, it's like just like all of those pharmaceutical commercials. It's always like people out in the sun having a good time at the beach, you know, just chilling out. Beautiful people having a good time. Like this drug may have side effects. You know, it may cause you to be suicidal. You might be homicidal. They're on the beach. They're playing volleyball, man. Girls in little bikinis and all the guys are ripped, right? It may cause you to kill your family. May cause you to see demons. May cause you to completely lose your mind. Volleyball and beautiful babes, ski-doos. Anyway, this sounds really serious, though, for real. It's really sad. That's crazy. Man has 4 limbs amputated after dog lick leads to severe infection, report says. It's crazy. All right. Let's move on. Man, this is about to be some Mad Max type carnage and violence, I'm thinking. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know, unless these farmers are all just going to go peacefully. But this is getting really out of hand. You want to talk about racism? Bingo, right here. South Africa to change constitution to legalize taking away white farmers' land. Can you imagine if that was reversed? Can you imagine? But this, do you see this in the mainstream news? RT is not mainstream news. There's more truth, not all the time. All the news organizations you have to watch carefully, but I find more interesting, or at least more truthful and interesting stories on RT than I do on anything mainstream in America. It's a story that needs to be out, and I could be wrong. I don't watch a lot of mainstream news, except for online. I'll watch some, but do y'all hear them talking about this in the mainstream? This is huge. It's a big story, man. This is crazy. It's about to get crazy out there. South African president has said the ruling African National Congress must initiate a parliamentary process to enshrine in the Constitution a proposed amendment paving the way for land grabs without compensation. He vowed to return the lands owned by the white farmers since the 1600s to the country's black population after he assumed office in February this year. He said on Tuesday that the ANC would introduce a constitutional amendment in Parliament. You might hear Chubbs there in the background. Chubbs, hey, stop. Thanks. Yeah, you. Can you please be quiet? Sir? Thank you. Okay, that's better. All right, so said on Thursday, the ANC will, through the parliamentary process, finalize the proposed amendment to the Constitution that outlines more clearly the conditions under which expropriation of land without compensation can be effected. Ramaphosa, a prominent trade union leader and a close associate of Nelson Mandela, said in a televised address on Tuesday. I thought Nelson Mandela was supposed to be a good guy, right? He's a good guy. Wasn't he a good guy? Well, we were told he was a good guy. The millionaire ex-businessman argued that it has become pertinently clear that our people want the Constitution to be more explicit about the proposal, which is viewed by the South African white minority as forceful expulsion that can incite violence against farmers. There have been growing fears that the planned expropriation will deal a blow to commercial farming, in the country, and might put it on the verge of a food production crisis like the one that struck Zimbabwe when it unleashed a similar crackdown on white farmers in 1999 and 2000. I mean, wow. He said, can you imagine? What if you had a farm out there and some land? I'm talking 50 cows. I'd start investing in some real serious armor and hardware and weaponry. Really, this could turn into, it's like Mad Max, man. People driving on crazy cars, Jeeps, trucks coming at you, mopeds, scooters, motorcycles, grenade launchers, all kinds of guns, knives. I mean, who knows, and you're in your compound, got turret guns, grenade launchers, bazookas. Let's hope it doesn't come to something like that. Ugh, I really don't like this lady very much. I'm being honest. I can't help it. I can't even really look at her very much, but I have to tell the story. I have to show you what's going on. Hillary Clinton teams up with Steven Spielberg to bring female voting rights story to television. Dun, dun, dun. Because she cares. Because she really does care. She cares a lot about the women, a lot about the voting rights, because it matters, right? It actually matters. The voting thing has been rigged for so long, right? So long. Anyway, these people are so plastic. It's just, you can see right through them, She cares, though. She cares about the little guy. A good woman. Guys, you find you a good woman. You get out, you find you a Hillary Clinton, guys. I'm telling you, there's good ones out there. You hear? This is a serious one right here. Report: abortion accounts for 61% of black deaths in America. I've done some videos on this, some things on Planned Parenthood in the past, Margaret Sanger, also the connection to witchcraft, pagan rituals, things like that. It's deep. But Margaret Sanger was not a fan of the black population. Induced abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States and accounts for a disturbing 61% of deaths of African Americans, according to researchers from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. A report Thursday analyzed research using data from the latest year for which all the pertinent information is available and found that induced abortion was responsible for 1.152 million deaths, making it the number one cause of death in the U.S. at nearly twice the number of deaths from heart disease and cancer. While abortion accounted for nearly a third of all U.S. deaths in 2009, more troubling still, it made up 61.1% of African American deaths, according to the study. The ongoing disparity of black deaths through abortion has led one leading black pastor to recently decry the black genocide, taking place in the United States at the hands of the abortion industry. I love it. Stand up. Stand up. In his July essay, the Reverend Clenard Childress Jr. noted that 52% of all African-American pregnancies end in abortion, and that whereas abortion is the most common operation performed on women, it is also the least regulated medical procedure and is often completely ignored by health regulation enforcement. Statistics reveal that nearly 1,800 unborn black babies are aborted every day, proportionally more than any other race. According to the CDC, between 2007 and 2010, more than 35% of the deaths by abortion in the United States happened to black babies. Despite the fact that blacks represent only 12.8% of the population, conversely, non-Hispanic whites, who make up 63.7% of America's population, account for only 37.7% of all U.S. abortions. So whatever the intent of abortion practitioners, by functional standards, abortion is a racist institution in the United States, with black children aborted at nearly 4 times the rate of white children. Among white women, there are 138 abortions for every 1,000 live births. Among blacks, there are 501 abortions for every 1,000 births. This means that blacks are aborted at 3.6 times the rate of whites. Wow. Carried over to a global context, the figures are equally worrisome, with abortion accounting for more deaths than any other cause. As of August, there have been nearly 25 million abortions performed worldwide so far this year, while less than 1 million people have died from road accident fatalities, 4.8 million from cancer, and 990,000 from HIV/AIDS, according to the best available data. Crazy, man, right? Crazy stuff. Something to think about. Chronically ill man releases audio of hospital staff offering assisted death. Let's see if I can find a audio of this. I think this is it.
What happens to me per day after September 11th gets her coercion wishes?
If your stay is uninsured, then the hospital would bill you for staying in the hospital.
How much?
Per diem, right? It's I don't know what the exact number is, but it's north of $1,500 a day.
North of $1,500 a day? Do you know the Minister of Health, Deb Matthews, and you can look this up? I read the article last night, is that's not legal for the hospital to do, and it's coercion to threaten that.
I know the exact letter you're talking about. It's in reference to patients who are waiting for long-term care.
Oh, no, this is an article in the Star where Deb Matthews came open to the media about how she wants hospitals to stop threatening patients.
Yeah. Because there was a time at which people were not using that information correctly, and it was used when it shouldn't have been. In this case, I am assured that Brent and our legal team would have reviewed whether or not it is applicable. We do not use this conversation in every situation. It is only in situations where somebody has a plan in the community that is feasible, that they're not going to accept, and that's okay.
Oh, wait. You just said there's a plan, so I haven't been informed of what the plan is. And what the planning was, I haven't been a part of it. You just violated my rights under the Home Care Bill of Rights, the participation right. You've already violated my preferences and also the freedoms. So what's the plan that you know of?
Roger, this is not my show. I told you my piece of this was to talk to you about if you had interest in assisted dying.
How are you feeling, Raj? Are you feeling like you want to harm yourself or anything like that?
Well, like, I'm always thinking I want to end my life because of the way things are going. Like, if I had self-directed...
In case you just joined us or in case you're not sure what's going on, these are his audio recordings. That's just an image of him right there. So, and you can hear these doctors trying to angle him, into just offing himself, basically. So check this out.
I mean, then I'd be fine.
But if you weren't, you can just apply to get an assisted. If you want it in your life, you don't have to do it in some dramatic manner. You can apply for assisted,
Well, they already presented the outcome option to me, but it's like, why force me to end my life when...
Oh, no, hang on here. I'm saying if you feel that way, don't get me wrong. I'm saying I don't want you to be here and wanting to take your life if you're having these thoughts, because you always have these thoughts.
Well, because I'm trapped. It's my intolerable suffering is due to the system creating it. I want out of that system. I need self-directed funding. And
yes, but that's something that you're continuing to fight.
Yeah, I'm fighting for my life.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be rash, and I don't want you to be here because I've noticed that you don't want any forks or knives or anything here. So I don't want you to be doing anything rash.
Was when the hospital threatens me and puts me through rough treatment.
But I'm not here to defend the hospital because you understand that you're there. But there's no one else I know who's been in the hospital for 2 years.
What?
No one else that I know who's been in the hospital for this amount of time.
Anyway, there you go. You kind of get the gist of it. It's a long story, so we won't read it. Sometimes video is the best option. So let's move on. Oh, I found something interesting on this one, but first off, mysterious gigantic rogue planet spotted lurking outside our solar system. Of course, everyone's going to start thinking Nibiru, right? They even have it as a red planet here. So Nibiru, or, the Anunnaki, Planet X, or Wormwood, perhaps, from the Bible. Mysterious large object is floating around outside our solar system, and researchers aren't sure exactly what it is, although it could be a rogue planet. In the first radio telescope detection of a planetary mass object beyond our solar system, astronomers have found the strange celestial body has 12.7 times the mass of Jupiter. It doesn't appear to orbit a parent star, however, and is only 20 light years away from Earth. Interesting, huh? A brown dwarf is an object too large to be a planet, but isn't big enough to sustain the nuclear fusion of hydrogen in its core that is vital to stars. The object, which has been named SIMP, I'm going to show you something, was first detected in 2016, but was thought to be a brown dwarf. The latest data reveals it's younger than first thought at a relatively youthful 200 million years old. And its mass is smaller, so it could be classified as a planet. Its temperature is also far cooler than the sun, blah, 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 etc., etc. I thought it's funny they named it SIMP. They even have it right here. SIMP. S-I-M-P. So I looked up the definition of SIMP, just out of curiosity, and it means a silly or foolish person. So I don't know if they're playing a trick on us, or maybe it really is Wormwood or Planet X. Or maybe we're all just a bunch of simps. Crazy video time. Are you ready? Let's see. Cool. Check this out. This is crazy. I'm going to make this one big. This is a dum-dum. If there's any children out there watching, guys, don't do this, okay? Don't ever do this. All right, here we go. Even grown-ups, don't do this. Please.
Yeah. Come on, Buffalo. You can't let them boss you around.
Oh God! Oh no! 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 Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! Oh God! No! No! I can't watch it.
Okay, watch it again. I mean, this guy's lucky. He's lucky.
Yeah.
Mama does you. Come on, Buffalo. You can't let them boss you around.
Oh God. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh God. Oh God, no, no. I can't watch it. Now he's mad. Now he's gonna be mad.
What do you think about that? Crazy, right? Chubbs. Stop. Sorry, guys. Chubbs is in a mood. He gets this way every now and then when I'm talking, but I'm not talking to him. It's a thing. You know, he starts making noise and trying to be a little jerk. Looks like he calmed down a bit. All right, so moving on. Freemasons to admit women, but only if they first joined as men. Interesting. Even the Freemasons cannot ignore the subject of trans rights. The society is finally to allow women to be members, but only if they joined as men. A Freemason who after initiation ceases to be a man does not cease to be a Freemason, says new guidance issued by the Freemasons governing body, the United Grand Lodge of England. Those who have transitioned from female to male can also apply, the guidance makes clear. Michael Baker, the UGL director of communications, said, while there has been no general request for guidance on gender reassignment, questions on the subject are likely to become increasingly common in the future, and now appears to be an opportune time to issue general guidance to our members. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Air Force remains silent after a huge meteor hits near U.S. military base. Meteor hit, and the U.S. Air Force still hasn't said anything about it. So there you go, the headline. It is interesting, though. It reminds me of just over the last year, we had those 2 false alarms, right? Those 2 nuke false alarms as well. So who knows if there's a connection there or not. Cult members slam Lil Uzi Vert's Heaven's Gate inspired album art. It's interesting just looking at the symbolism there, right? So there's your pyramid and sun symbolism with Heaven's Gate. Some surviving members of Heaven's Gate members are miffed by Lil Uzi Vert's new album art. Earlier this week, the rapper 24 revealed the artwork for his upcoming album, Eternal Attack, I don't know, which looks heavily inspired by the GeoCities era visual aesthetic of the infamous cult. While Uzi's fans seem to excuse me, come here. You're being very naughty. You want to say something to everybody? Here, go ahead. No? Okay, go on. What a little grump. Sorry, guys. Chubbs is being a grump. Man, he's just getting in my way, jumping on me. All right. So I'm going to keep going, okay? So earlier this week, the rapper 24 revealed the artwork. While Uzi's fans seemed delighted by the album cover, surviving members of Heaven's Gate told Page 6 they thought the rapper's visual nod to Heaven's Gate was not cool, quote unquote. Reached by email on Thursday, the Tela Foundation, the group's de facto communication wing, let their annoyance be known. We're going to look them up real quick, too. The Tela Foundation. Little Uzi Vert has to abide by common trademark and copyright laws, especially in a matter as sensitive as this, they wrote in a statement. You can rage against social inequities, but be cognizant of someone else's intellectual property. How would he feel if his songs were altered a bit by someone else and they made money off it? They continued before concluding, in quotes, not cool. A previous statement by the Tela Foundation given to Genius earlier this week threatened legal action. Originally formed in San Diego in the mid-1970s, Heaven's Gate gained worldwide notoriety in 1997 after several of the group's members, 20 women and 19 men ranging between the ages of 26 and 72, participated in a mass suicide after the comet Hale-Bopp passed the Earth in hopes of catching a ride on a spacecraft they believed was trailing the celestial object. Among the dead was the cult's founder, Marshall Applewhite, whose face is currently Uzi's Instagram avatar. Oh yeah, it is. The Teloff Foundation is made up of Heaven's Gate members who were left behind to operate the cult's website and answer any queries. Let's see what that looks like, what their site and stuff looks like. Teloff Foundation. I'm not seeing anything. Heaven's Gate cult website. There it is. Just curious. I hope you guys don't mind. Just take a little side road here for a second. All right. Okay, I didn't really see anything. Moving on. More coming out about the NXIVM cult. I can't remember what the pronunciation is there, but Dynasty actress Catherine Oxenberg fights to save daughter India from terrifying cult NXIVM. Really not much more. Yeah, let's see here. In April, Mac was arrested by federal authorities for her alleged role as in the alleged cult. Mac 36 faces charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy to commit forced labor. She was order held without bail and has since been released on $5 million bail. Wow. Under the guise of female empowerment, she starved women until they fit her co-defendant's sexual feminine ideal. Assistant U.S. Attorney told judge, referring to Keith Rainier, who allegedly led the cult. He was arrested in March and charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy. Rainier is being held without bail, and his requests for a bond have been denied. Mac reportedly joined the alleged sex cult in 2006. Over the years, she eventually allegedly became a high-ranked slave master who allegedly recruited more members, all under the guise of a women's self-help organization. Freaking wolves in sheep's clothing. Rainier and Mac each face a minimum of 15 years behind bars if convicted. Oxenberg said she and her daughter attended a 2011 seminar that she thought would help India start a business. Rainier spoke at the event. NXIVM, which is based in Albany, New York, was founded by Rainier in 2003. All right. We know what it is. And now, this guy. It's the guy everybody's talking about. It's interesting. It's kind of like another... it's like the choices you have with the Alex Jones thing. You know, it's like you get two choices with this guy here, this Isaac Cappy. Thor actor with alleged history of erratic behavior. Even the way they titled this. Thor actor with alleged history of erratic behavior under investigation after threatening mass shooting. Okay. Isaac Cappy. You guys have heard of him, I'm sure, by now. He did an interview with Alex Jones actually a few days ago. Isaac Cappy, who has allegedly assaulted Paris Jackson and stalked Seth Green in the past, is under investigation following tweets which insinuated potential violence against the people of Hollywood. When I say you got two choices, it's like, here, we'll take a look here. You might not know who it is. I don't know. Look at the Observer. Isaac Cappy is a frequent InfoWars guest and QAnon supporter. InfoWars is basically shut down now, and they did their first interview, or only interview I know of, just a couple days ago. But as you can see here, Isaac Cappy is a frequent InfoWars guest and QAnon supporter. Look at this. QAnon's newest hero is a D-list Vanderpump Rules star. Isaac Cappy defends himself against choking allegations. Paris Jackson. But here he is. It's Isaac Cappy. Images of Isaac Cappy. It's like I said, you got two choices. I mean, either he's the real deal. No one's perfect either. I mean, everyone's looking for a Jesus, not just the Jesus, but everybody seems to be always looking for a Messiah. And there's so many of us that question the mainstream narrative. You see it all the time, but a lot of times I think just people are looking for a worldly survivor or a worldly Messiah, a worldly Jesus that's going to come out and tell us all the truth. And there've been times I've slightly fallen into that, but not much. I basically see through it, and I have for a long time. But we all want someone like this to come out. We've been waiting on a person like this to come out with insider information and just completely spill the beans and tell us all the truth, and it really validates a lot of our work on another level. I don't need the validation. None of us do. There's enough proof out there of the things we discuss here, but this would really help, right? If we can get more people out there that are on the inside to come out, it'd really help. So either he's the real deal and he's really throwing some truth out, or it's another kind of a setup. It's another setup. They put somebody out there to do this so they could just, so what is it called? A paper tiger or a straw man? But they put someone out there just to be the tip of the spear. They make the whole thing seem loony and crazy. Like, again, with Alex Jones, like he spills a lot of truth over the years, but then he goes on TV. He's like, whoa, this is 1776 and you will not take our guns. And it's like, oh, dude, no. I was like yelling when I saw that. No, Alex, no. It was such a cringy moment for me, man. So, maybe that's what this is. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm watching everything I can on this fella and just trying to see what pops. I don't like to make snap judgments, especially on something like this. So that's Isaac Cappy right there. So I guess we'll see what happens, because they're coming after him now. Media's coming after him. I thought this is funny. Canadian man legally changes gender to save $1,000 on car insurance. Alberta, July 30th, 2018. An anonymous car shopper in Alberta known only as David isn't transgendered, but pretending to be, helped him save a lot of money on his car insurance. That's great. Earlier this month, CBC News spoke with David, who explained how he came up with the idea while shopping for a new Chevy Cruze. His insurance company told him it would come with a premium of about $4,500 per year due to previous tickets and a collision. If he was a woman, he learned that cost would only be $3,400. I was pretty angry about that, and I didn't feel like getting screwed over anymore, said David, who was 23 at the time. So I asked them to change my gender on my auto policy, and she's like, we can't do that. So David told his doctor, I'd like to identify as a woman. The doctor wrote him a note confirming his decision, which he then submitted to Alberta's provincial government. A few weeks later, it sent him a new female birth certificate. Excuse me, easy for me to say. I was quite shocked, but I was also relieved, said David, who wound up getting the lower premium and saving approximately $91 per month. I felt like I beat the system. I felt like I won. David stressed that the stunt was neither a political statement nor an expression of gender confusion. It was solely to take advantage of a loophole. I'm a man, 100%. Legally, I'm a woman, he said. I did it for cheaper car insurance. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. He's kind of a hero. Kind of a hero, I guess. Why not? And Rose McGowan, she's associated with the Me Too movement, Hollywood actress, been in a lot of different movies and even some TV shows. She was in Charmed, I believe, and the first Scream movie she was in. Dated Robert Rodriguez for quite a while. Maybe I guess they're not together anymore, but she dated him, the director. Did some movies with him. Rose McGowan's new mystery partner has finally been identified as Rain Dove, the non-binary gender model who prefers the pronoun they was spotted putting on a PDA with the Charm Star at Aussie Fest in New York on Sunday. Excuse me, I take a drink here. I got a frog in my throat tonight, something. Okay, thanks, that's better. The striking 6'2" New York native 28, who is famous for modeling both men's and women's clothes, and Rose, 44, appeared in high spirits as he walked around Central Park hand in hand. Okay. Fair enough. Born female but taunted over their masculine looks, Dove believed they were popular because they had been adorned and nicknamed Tranny Danny until they discovered what tranny meant in high school. Okay. Anyway, just more of that, the gender confusion. That's what's up. Model Rain Dove wields an axe as she chops some wood. Yeah, this is... I can't unsee that. That's unfortunate. I didn't mean to see that. Not a major story. I just thought it was interesting. Just a sign of the times, how much things have changed. The internet changed everything. iPhones, all that changed everything. When I was a kid, I mean, we used to go, I'm still a big music geek, and back in the day, before the internet and all that, I mean, you'd go to just really cool little record stores, like college towns are really good with those types. The kind of music I like, you'd find at these little college places. Just go to the cool little music stores, you could discover all these new bands and on just other sides of the country and some on other sides of the world you'd never heard of. And it's a real thing, man. It was very interesting, And he made friends in these communities, you're all stayed together. I mean, everything's grown and changed, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can still do that online now. It's just different, It's digital. It's all digital now. It's different. But as far as bands, they'd tour back then, and this is again before internet and all that. And it's how they made their money, and you'd support them by buying their shirts and stuff like this. And I know there's still concerts and things like that, but it's just not the way it used to be. It's definitely not the way it used to be. Feels like it all really died, like big mainstream awesome rock concerts and stuff died with the end of grunge. I feel like after that it was all kind of, then we got into some new metal, some of this stuff and watered down stuff, and then the rap thing came along and sampling, it's basically stealing talent from other people and laying tracks in the back and just rhyming over it. This all the music, everything changed. It's all changed, and you can still find, for me, I don't know what you listen to, but for me, you can still I find interesting, edgy type bands out there online. You find them on YouTube, find their channels. Sometimes they have just maybe a few hundred subs and nothing more, but some of the coolest music I've heard, so anyway, veteran A&R describes the record industry's current approach to signing acts. Who has the followers? The labels are in the game of who has the numbers. This one. That kid, Daniel Bergoli, the Cash Me Outside girl. But she's like selling, making albums, like millions and millions of followers on Instagram. This one. It says rappers aren't the only ones chasing clout. Speaking with Rolling Stone veteran A&R Angelo Torres, broke down the record industry's latest approach to signing upcoming acts. We're living in the clout age, Torres said. These kids have a big social media game, and the labels are in this game of who has the numbers. Millions of followers on Instagram. I'm pretty sure if this person drops a song, it's going to reach millions of views. Torres' statements perfectly explain why we're seeing more and more young kids signed for better or worse off of viral video or cultural brouhaha, and not the sum of their talent. Think of Bad Baby, which is this chick, Matt Ox or Mason Ramsey. I don't even know who these people are. Talented or not, having a viral video will go a long way in convincing an A&R that a fan base already exists. Isn't that crazy? I think that's the time we're in. That's all. Interesting. Times have changed. In certain cases, A&Rs get it wrong. Look no further than Chicago's Toby Lou, whose first A&R meeting left him with the following sage advice. What we want to do is turn you into the next Flo Rida. Several years later, Lou, who opted to remain independent and stick to his artistic guns, is now working with veteran producer No ID on his debut album. All right. We get it. You understand. Parents are hiring Fortnite coaches for their kids, report says. You know, Fortnite's the new game that's just kind of taken over everything, and everybody's doing it, and there's Fortnite leagues online and all kinds of stuff. It's just the newest, the new hip thing for the kids to play, right? And a lot of them are playing it. It's interesting, though, that now we're living at a time. Some parents have a new goal in mind for their children, be good at Fortnite. The Wall Street Journal reported this week that parents nationwide have started hiring Fortnite coaches to make their children better at the video game, which has risen to popularity in the last year with its Battle Royale mode. For example, mother Allie Hicks worried that her 10-year-old son wouldn't be good at the game, so she hired a coach who, for $50, taught her son how to play the game well. Similarly, Father Nick Meenan hired a coach for $20 an hour for his 12-year-old son, Menon. Said he hopes his son will secure a scholarship or tournament money from the game. The coaches are baffled. Logan Werner, an 18-year-old Fortnite coach in Roy, Utah, said his dad would never have allowed video game coaching. According to Axios, it's really surreal to me, he said. My dad would have never paid for me to take video game lessons. More than 1,400 Fortnite coaches have been hired since March, according to Game Rant. Most rates depend on the coach, but the cost hovers around $15 to $50 per hour for 3 to 4 hours of coaching. Crazy, man, right? It's interesting. Interesting. Huh. Regardless of why a parent hires a coach, Fortnite coaching is seemingly a good way to help kids who are not the best at the popular game, as some kids are reporting solo wins within a week, and others are throwing down multiple wins when victory royales were elusive before. It's not a surprise that Fortnite and esports are coming together this way. In July, a report from Superdata found that Fortnite made more than $1 billion since October 2017, when the game's Battle Royale mode first launched. All right, interesting stuff. Would you hire a Fortnite coach for your kid? Or for yourself? Like in my case, I'm thinking, well, I haven't really tried it. Looks like it could be a lot of fun. I do play some video games, so, maybe I can get me a Fortnite coach. Yeah, there's always a story about this, but vagina beer made with essence of hot underwear models goes on sale for the first time. Customers can now buy the beer and taste the very essence of good-looking models. You're guaranteed this comes from good-looking models at various pubs after its debut on July 28th in the city of Katowice, I'm guessing, Poland. Okay. A beer made from the vaginal lactic acid of hot underwear models. That should be a t-shirt. I don't know why. I'm not saying I'd wear it, but somebody out there would wear this shirt that just says vaginal lactic acid of hot underwear models. It just makes sense. I don't know why. Again, I wouldn't wear that now, but teenage me probably would. I've grown a lot throughout the years. Okay. Matured quite a bit. The vagina beer has been launched by a brewery known as the Order of Yoni from the Polish capital city of Warsaw. Yoni is Sanskrit for the word female genitals. Customers can now buy the beer and taste the very essence of guaranteed they're good-looking models at various pubs. The brewery's website colorfully describes the sensations customers might expect from the beer, saying, imagine the woman of your dreams, your object of desire, her charm, her sensuality, her passion. Now you can try how she tastes, feel her smell, hear her voice. Now imagine her giving you a passionate massage and gently whispering anything you'd like to hear. Now, free your fantasies and imagine all of that can be encompassed in a bottle of beer. Strange days indeed, my friends. Strange days indeed. I want to note the process as the website describes the process somewhat ambiguously, saying the secret of the beer lies in her vagina. Using high-tech microbiological techniques, we isolate, examine, and prepare lactic acid bacteria from the vagina of a unique woman. Better be hot. We were told these were going to be hot models. Unique? What does that mean? Amidst concerns about the hygiene implications of the beer, the Order of Yoni. I'm going to look them up too. We'll look up Order of Yoni next. I want to see if there's any weird symbolism or anything over there. Mother goddess symbolism or something. Reassured consumers the ladies have been totally checked out or checked before having the smears, and the scientific process they use to isolate the bacteria removes all possible unsavory elements. All right, so there's that story. Let's take a look at this company. Order of Yoni. Here it is. Order of Yoni. It's a real thing, I guess. A real thing. Who knew? Okay. Bottled Instinct, the first beer with vaginal lactic acid in the world. It's an interesting symbol. Black cube within a cube. But I need more. I need more. Not just one symbol. What else we got? Anything else? I don't know. There you go. That's the stuff. The Order of Yoni. You can taste the essence. The essence. Radio host Art Bell died of accidental drug overdose. I covered his death in one of my past shows. But longtime Perump radio personality Art Bell died of an accidental overdose from a cocktail of prescription drugs. Died April 13th in a bedroom of his Perump home. I don't even know what that means. Oh, it must be an area. Perump home at age 72. The coroner's office determined he had 4 prescription medications in his system: the opioids oxycodone and hydrocodone, diazepam, and the muscle relaxant carisoprodol. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and hypertension also contributed to his death, the coroner said. So, wow, that's some heavy stuff he was on too, though, man. I don't know. So, anyway, Art Bell was a legend, though. I cut my teeth, the paranormal and conspiracies on his shows many, many years ago. VR porn booths let Japan's randy cyber pervs watch virtual reality smut for just 10, is that quid? I don't know, an hour. Not quid. Maybe something in Japan. So I don't know what they have there. I guess that's horned up Tokyo residents and tourists too can pay around 10, I'm guessing quid. Oh, it's yen, right? They have yen, I'm not sure. For an hour-long XXX session. So like $10, I guess. $10 for an hour-long XXX session. The virtual reality involves donning a pair of goggles that simulate computer-generated environments around you. The companies use high-tech camera rigs to film first-person encounters. All right. I guess that's what one of the spaces look like. The seedy booths contain tissue dispenser and a VR headset. All right, fair enough. Creep, man, just creepers. You know, just perversion. It's perversion in the streets. Perversion. No one cares. Excuse me. The claws are out. Killing Kitten's CEO reveals what really goes on at her masked sex parties, from elaborate rescue missions to the strict ban on men approaching girls. Just more of this. I've covered this stuff before, but it's just more of the stuff the satanic elite, that they've been doing for years, parties and things like this. Secret mansion parties. Makes me think of Eyes Wide Shut. things like that. But it's all coming out into the mainstream. I mean, that's what this is. Everything's coming out. Everything's being revealed. This is all coming out more and more. It's to be put out as like normal, you know. Emma, who has a background in financial PR, told Business Insider, is all about the time that Sex and the City was out, and there was all of this talk about female sexual revolution and women being able to talk about their sex lives, but her female empowerment brand was really built out of a desire to end the slut-shaming culture women still faced for doing the same things men were praised for. Emma added, women were still being judged for one-night stands, but when men had a one-night stand, they were a legend. There was a real imbalance, and I wanted to do something about it. By gum, I'm going to do something about this. Known as KK to its members, Emma came up with a name based on the expression, every time you play with yourself, God kills a kitten, God kills in kitten. I don't know. I don't get this. These people are weird. Just perversion. Of course, the all-seeing eye in your book, behind the mask. We get it, babe. We got it, toots. We know what spirit runs you. We got you. I see you. I see you. We saw that video earlier, the 6-foot-tall. We're talking about South Africa earlier. Obama praises South African leader despite race killings and new law that seizes white farmers' land without compensation. Barack Obama traveled to South Africa in July and delivered a speech at the 2018 Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture in Johannesburg. During the speech, Obama called for guaranteed income. Obama also lectured rich people for buying big homes despite purchasing a $8.1 million home in the D.C. area himself. Obama also praised the South African president despite the recent decision to steal land from white farmers without compensation. Tucker Carlson pointed out these stunning comments on his show. Well, let me watch some of this. All right.
At the same time President Trump was at his summit in Helsinki, former President Barack Obama was in South Africa, delivering a speech that didn't get too much attention, though it should have. Obama began his remarks by thanking South African President Cyril Ramaphosa for, quote, inspiring new hope in this great country. Now, if you've been following what's going on in South Africa, you might be shocked by that, because it turns out Ramaphosa recently declared that he will change the South African Constitution, and he'll do it for the explicit purpose of persecuting a racial minority, seizing their land without compensation, not because they've committed a specific crime, but because they are the wrong color, purely on racial grounds. Thanks to policies like this, many South Africans have already been murdered in race killings. Many and many more are fleeing the country for their lives. It's not covered here, but it's covered in the rest of the world, and it's real. Obama knew all this. He described it as, quote, inspiring. And that should tell you a lot. He should be asked why he described it as inspiring. He never will be, unfortunately. Well, that's about it for us.
There you go. There's that. Good old Obama. Good old Obama. You people love your Obama. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But for real, guys, you know, you take care of yourselves. You know, drag a comb through that hair sometimes, clean those teeth, get out there, look sharp, and you too will find you a Hillary Clinton. There's a Hillary Clinton out there for all of us. All right, remember that. Man who destroyed Arkansas 10 Commandments monument recalls hearing something inside say destroy it tonight. I did a video on this guy's rantings he was putting out on social media. It's on my website from a few months ago, and I just did a compilation of it. It was interesting. An Arkansas man who destroyed the 10 Commandments monument on the grounds of the state capitol building in June 2017 says he heard something inside impress on him, destroy it tonight. A local television station sat down with Michael Tate Reed after he was released from the state hospital where he was receiving treatment for mental issues. He reportedly told the outlet that he doesn't regret knocking down the monument with his car in the early morning hours. So you feel like it was your calling to do this, reporter Tyler Thomason asked. Yes, Tate replied. I had to get people's attention for what's going on in the world. He said that when he learned that the monument had been installed outside the Capitol, something inside him told him to destroy it. I felt a huge pressure come over me, and I heard inside, destroy it tonight, Reed outlined. That's all I could think about. It was a tunnel vision. As previously reported, while Reed characterized himself as a Pentecostal Jesus freak on his Facebook page at the time of the incident, and still writes of himself, "The only thing good about me is God in me and everything else we're working on." He says he also believes in the separation of church and state. He says that he supports the 10 Commandments, but not on government property. Interesting. Interesting. 9/11 emergency call centers can't find workers. I'm not going to read it, as the headline was interesting. So there's jobs out there. You know, if anybody's looking, maybe you could look into the 9/11 emergency call centers. Or not. It's a lot to take on. Maybe that's why. The red tide, toxic red tide, is making Floridians sick and angry. Red tides in the Gulf of Mexico and toxic blue-green algae in inland waters are killing animals and stoking outrage in South Florida. Could this be another example of the Hosea prophecy? We've been seeing a lot of these mass animal die-offs. I was doing videos on those back in 2014, mass animal die-offs, and it's still happening now. And this red tide thing, too. This is a fairly new anomaly. They're trying to act like it's normal, nothing to see here. It's a red tide, It's like they always have some kind of an explanation for these things. Anything but the paranormal. But I'm not saying everything is paranormal, but sometimes it is. Sometimes there's a 6-foot white creature crawling around in the woods. Sometimes, maybe, right? Horror model Rick Genest, zombie boy, has died at the age of 32. Look at this guy, man. That's how he made himself up. We're always told that we can be whatever we want to be, and Rick Genest took that advice to the coolest possible extreme when he decided to become, well, a zombie. With 90% of his body and face tattooed, Genest became known as Zombie Boy, rising to worldwide fame when he memorably appeared in Lady Gaga's music video for Born This Way. I thought long and hard about it and what I wanted, about what my passion was, Genest told the Daily Star back in 2016, and I decided I wanted to be a effing zombie. Sadly, we learned today that he died at the age of 32. He was found dead at his apartment in Montreal, Quebec this week from an apparent suicide. He had also appeared in Keanu Reeves' film 47 Ronin, was the inspiration for Evan Peters' iconic American horror story Murder House look. His look was used by the Effects series without his permission, leading to a lawsuit that was settled quietly. Notably, he was in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most bones tatted on a human body, 138. So suicide. I was on a different board looking up some stuff about this, and everybody was defending, like, don't you dare say it's because of his tattoos, and it's like, maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, that story concludes. I just realized we're done. That's our last story. That concludes this week's edition of KJ's What Happened. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks as always for being here. I got a brand new video that I'm probably going to upload in the morning. If not later tonight, I'll put it up in the morning. And tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here on my channel, we'll do just a hangout, kind of like a catching up with KJ, just a chill and chat. We haven't done that in quite a while. And I just go through chat. We talk about whatever, anything on your mind, any questions, anything like that, throw them out there, and we'll have a good time. We usually do. It's been too long. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Emma, dear, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Effie, you too. Good to see you. These are my mods. And everyone else, thanks again, man. Big shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thanks for your patience, guys, with my work. It takes me time to do these. I've got a new video I'm really proud of with a lot of good stuff in it. And I've got my next one coming up right now. I'm calling it "Look at What They Did to the Children," and it's going to be pretty deep, pretty intense on what they did to the children. So anyway, man, hang tough for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Look forward to chatting with you. Thanks again to my Patreon supporters. I'll leave a link below if you want to support my show, my website, and my videos. Big shout out to Silver Botanicals as well. Please check out some of their household products, and also check out their essential oils. I'll give a link to their website below. And if you want to support my channel, it's another way to do it. God bless you guys. I'm going to stop rambling. I've got to go. We'll be back tomorrow night, though. Take care. All right. See you later.